African-American First Lady. With just weeks until she goes back to a somewhat private life, Mrs. Obama is putting to rest any rumors and possibly hopes that she could one day return to the White House, only this time as president.
Would you ever run for office?
No.
I have to ask it.
No.
No kind of office?
No. Look, that's one thing I don't do. I don't make stuff up. I'm not coy. I haven't proven that. I'm pretty direct. If I were interested in it, I'd say it. I don't believe in playing games. You know, it's not something I would do. But it also speaks to the fact that people don't really understand how hard this is. And it's not something that you cavalierly just sort of ask a family to do again.
All right, so let's talk about that and more. Julian Zelizer is here. He's a Princeton historian and professor, and Larry Sabato joins me. He's the director for the Center for Politics at the University of Virginia. Welcome to both of you. So Larry, you heard what Mrs. Obama said. She said a campaign of her own is off the table, but President Obama recently told NPR that they both will play a role in cultivating the next generation of Democratic lawmakers. Is that more valuable?
Well, it's certainly very valuable because the bench is almost empty for Democrats, and part of that is a result of the Obama administration. Those midterm elections have been disasters for Democrats. And look, I believe her completely. I think Michelle Obama does not want to run for public office, which probably is the same as getting a certificate of sanity. However, I wouldn't be surprised, Carol, if there were a draft movement at some time in the future, say starting around 2019. It's possible. She can shut it down with a Sherman-esque statement that if nominated, she'll run for the border. But I wouldn't be surprised if some Democrats try to get her to run.
Julian, as Larry said, the bench is almost empty, so why wouldn't there be a push for her to run, a big push for her to run for something?
Look, there will be a push for her to stay involved in politics. The other thing that will happen is whatever President-elect Trump and the Republican Congress do. They could take steps in terms of public policy that motivate her in ways that she's not anticipating. To say, well, someone is needed to take on this administration, to run for president. So either if she's doing that or she's involved in Eleanor Roosevelt kind of post-presidential politics, I imagine there's going to be a lot of pressure given her performance to stay in the game.
You know, something else interesting she said when we played that little bite from her interview, Larry, is that running for president, being president of the United States, was incredible hardship on the president's family, especially the children. It's not going to be any easier for Trump's children either, is it?
No, it's living in a fishbowl. Look, presidential children get loads of privileges, no question about it, and they get to meet, princes and queens from all over the world and all the rest of it. But there's a real downside, and some of the former children who lived in the White House have noted it's not a lot of fun to go on a date followed by your Secret Service agents, among other things. So it's on the whole, I think you'd rather have the experience than not. But I certainly understand those sentiments.
Oh, absolutely. Especially, I understand why Melania Trump wants to protect her young son, although Trump's other children, Julian, are kind of like inserting themselves into the public fray.
Right. I mean, this is a little different. Other than the youngest son, you have the children who have all been actively part of the campaign, and it looks like they will be active advisors in different capacities to their father in the White House, as well as the son-in-law. And because of the conflict of interest and the way in which he's handling the business, they remain central to his economic empire. So this is a case where, it's one thing to talk about young children and the pressure they face, but here the Trumps are really inserting their kids front and center in the events of the next 4 years.
Yeah, I was just trying to find something that just came in my email box that Ivanka Trump already tweeted out condolences for the people in Berlin, Germany. So she's inserted herself into the fray already. Larry, Mrs. Obama also said her greatest impact as First Lady was a role model for African-American women. In your mind, what was the biggest impact she had on the country?
Well, I think as part of a highly functioning, extremely successful African-American family, this was a great image for the country, not just for African-Americans, for all Americans. So I think that has got to be her accomplishment, which is kind of a co-accomplishment with her husband, the first African-American president. But she did loads of things. She was a very active First Lady. She was involved with many public issues, including the health of children and adults, promoting good food and nutrition, things that a First Lady can do and can accomplish with some controversy, but not nearly as much controversy as a presidential husband.
And Julie, and Michelle Obama took an awful lot of criticism for even her, her healthy eating campaign. Do you think that Melania Trump will take such criticism for other things?
Well, often First Ladies come under criticism for different reasons. Nancy Reagan, for example, came under a lot of criticism from many Democrats about how she was handling the war on drugs and what she was saying about how to deal with substance abuse. It comes with the office. Melania will have criticism at some point. I'm not sure what she's going to do, but there will be people who don't like her, and people who use her as a way to talk about the problems with the administration. So this is part of the role, and I think many First Ladies have learned that, and they've continued to move forward with their efforts regardless.
I have to leave it there. Julian Zalazar, Larry Sabato, thanks as always. So to cover the newsroom a day after their ambassador was gunned down, Russian diplomats come face-to-face with their Turkish counterparts to strategize over Syria. They have strong words about tackling terrorism.